You were involved in a community industry league, like a fantasy football industry league called Stacked.
Yeah.
It's been really cool to see a lot of big names, big analysts in there competing for charity. At $10,000 in charity, 5,000 going to Fantasy Cares, 5,000 going to the charity of choice of the person who wins this league. Exciting stuff. What was it that made you want to participate in this league with these icons?
Yeah, like I felt blessed. JJ, he has a lot of leagues. I have a lot of leagues, but I love industry leagues. And so he wasn't able to draft. So say Jeremy, he said, "Hey, how would you like to?" I was like, "Yes, I would love to. Are you kidding me? I would. I love fantasy football, and playing fantasy football for charity is awesome." So, at that point, my daughters, we were watching a YouTube video a day about St. Jude's. As far as the charity goes, it was a guy named Ryan Trahan,
Yeah.
and he was donating. Had a big donation to St. Jude's every day, and so my girls were getting into it, and so I got to tell them, "Hey, I'm playing in this draft, and if I win, the money's going to go to St. Jude." So they got into it then. So it's been fun, and I hope that it all works out, and I hope I win, and I hope that money goes to St. Jude. But regardless, if any sort of nonprofit is benefiting from fantasy football, we're all winning.
Absolutely, for sure. Now, this division, this league, there are some people that are winning. Dave
Yes.
Richard and Sigmund Bloom, both 8-2, looking great. Chris
Yeah.
Harris 7-3, continuing to have a great season. Kendall Valenzuela 6-4. She's had a great start, coming off a loss, and you're facing her this next week.
Yeah.
Ben Gretsch is just fighting. Andrew Cooper fighting, both at 5-5. You're there at 4-6 with Andy Behrens at 4-6. There isn't a last place penalty.
Yeah. Trying to avoid that if
Trying
at
to
all
avoid
possible.
that. Greg Branos was 1-8. Now he is 2-8.
I saw he got the win.
His opponent. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Greg is trying to get out of that. Justin Boone's been cursed with a really tough schedule this year, 3-7. John Daigle 4-6. Jake Seeley 4-6. So a lot of teams in that 4-6, 5-5 mark. So playoffs are a real option for you. Yeah, hopefully that works out for you. Looking at your matchup again, coming off of a tough loss to Jake Seeley, that was rough. But you have Kendall Valenzuela ahead of you. Obviously, got to focus on that one. What's it been like competing with some of these people and just dealing with the day to day, like the waiver wires and that kind of stuff? And there's been trades that have been going down, all that.
It's been a it's. I feel like I'm taking to school. Ooh, Travis Hunter, season-ending knee injury. So
yeah,
there you go. No more Travis Hunter. I thought we'd get him back, but no, it has been eye-opening as far as, like you mentioned, Ben Gretsch, and I know Ben from Ben used to be the editor for Fantasy Insiders for me back in the day. So I've worked with Ben. I know whatever he does, whatever he puts his mind to, like he's going all in. So this guy is making all sorts of moves. The thing that has gotten me is that I still am not used to the Tuesday ads. And we do them early, but it's just like it is totally against anything I've ever done. And I've never had Tuesday ads. And so I'm always like, I get the notification that waivers have been processed. I'm like, oh gosh, I missed it again. And then I'll put it in for the next time. So that's why I have more money probably than anybody in the league, but it's been good. Dave, he sniped me on HN. I was so excited to get HN. Didn't happen. So I got Nico, and then I had to pick between Neighbors and Amon-Ra, and I picked Neighbors, and that did not work out. No. So, I got Nico, Neighbors, and Wilson, and then I picked Walker before he got the next pick with Cook. So I chose poorly, and then I had the injury bug. I thought I might get a little lucky when I traded Garrett Wilson to Jake Seeley for Justin Jefferson and Chris Olave. So traded Nico and Garrett Wilson for that, and then Garrett Wilson immediately gets hurt. So I thought maybe I've got a chance. But I just drafted a bunch of guys that they just have not hit their stride. I don't have that one guy that's really kind of anchoring the team, and it's tough. I'm hoping I can get some spike weeks out of these guys, so I can maybe make the playoffs. And then all you're asking is to make the playoffs, because you never know what's going to happen those weeks 15, 16, and 17.
For sure. Yeah. And I think obviously, Neighbors is supposed to be that guy that anchors your team. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah, he did.
that's
I
a
mean,
tough
he
blow.
did well at first.
Yeah.
I liked my strategy. But looking back, it was just like, oh, that was brutal. Like Calvin Ridley, I have so much Calvin Ridley out there in best ball and everything
Yeah.
else. He's been brutal. Pacheco, Golden, they've all been. It's all been really tough. Kenneth Walker not being the goal line back.
Yeah.
So I've just got a bunch of mid players. Like really, that's what the kids say mid, meaning mediocre, average. That's my team right now, and I'm just trying to find some sort of spark. Like Travis Etienne, I have as much Bayshal Tootin in best ball as I do Travis Etienne, but this league was a league where I could get some of the guys where I didn't have a lot of exposure to. So maybe he's the guy that will help me this week. But I look at Kendall's team, and her team is stacked. So
yeah, she's loaded.
No pun intended. We'll see what happens.
For sure. I know it is one of those things. Like you said, the Ridley, like Pacheco, Golden, I thought would have a good year too.
Yeah,
but I love your strategy. I mean, this is brilliant. I mean, you took May and Williams. Like I entered so many drafts this year where I'm like, before I made a different choice, I thought Drake May, Williams, what a perfect duo. Get them late round, which obviously fits the brand. But perfect scenario for late round quarterbacks. It's just, again, I feel like that Neighbors injury kind of it hits home for me. In two of my biggest leagues, I lost Neighbors, so I feel you. But make the playoffs, see what happens. We'll go from there.
Right, exactly.
Waivers wise this week, waivers, Luther Burden was the biggest waiver wire ad at $4, but Jake Seeley, he got Joe Burrow at zero.
See, I thought that wasn't, and that was when I was like, man, I've already got Drake May and Caleb Williams, and it's not a super flex league, but I thought, they're saying he's going to play week 14. It's around playoff times go, and if you don't have a quarterback, I mean, he was number 5, as far as being that fifth quarter overall quarterback picked. And so if he kind of ramps up in week 14, he's fully ready to go. I don't know. You might have some sit-start decisions in the semifinals and finals.
Yeah, and hopefully it works out, because I'd love to see Joe Burrow back in action.
Yeah,
especially if you make a playoffs in a fantasy league and you had Joe Burrow stashed on IR, good for you, because that might work out really well for you. Probably most teams that had him that invested early on for him, they're probably in trouble, but maybe they picked up somebody and filled the gap. So with this league, looking around the league, is there a manager that you want to beat the most out of anybody here, and which roster does scare you the most?
Yeah, like I said, I know Gretsch well. We run in the same circles, and just having his pelt, on my trophy wall is nice. So that would be the guy. I also have a good relationship with John Daigle. So those are always friendly ones. I don't have a problem with anybody in this league. Everybody's a good person in this league. I used to listen to Sigmund Bloom on local sports radio, and he would answer questions. I love Joe Bryant there at Football Guys. So, I don't have anybody specifically that I would like as a rival, but beating Ben, Gretsch, and Daigle are good with me, because those are like friendly rivalries.
So at this stage, who do you think is going to win it? Outside of yourself making this heroic comeback, like who's the team to beat?
Yeah, I think this. I think there are some dark horses here for sure. Gretsch might be one of them, but it's tough to look past Dave Richard. His squad that he's got going. It's really tough to get past the H-An and Amon Ra pairing. So we'll see what happens. Look at Greg's roster. He was on the opposite end. But he had Jamar Chase and then McConkey and McBride and got Travion as well. Like he's just out of the running, but it's just like bad luck on his part because I felt like he had some pieces that it's going to be that stereotypical the ones that wins the toilet bowl. So I'll put my money though on the other guys and see what happens.